What's going on, everybody? Welcome to GmiasWorld. What you're looking at right now is just me creating some silver tokens for the Seattle Seahawks. Remember that you just put in your 12 players and you can pick the token from any team. So I'm just going through it real quick. You should have silvers in your binder regardless. It shouldn't be a major issue right now for you to have silvers. If you do, just simply go to the auction house and spend the 500 coins to get a player. And just get as many as you need to just whatever, if you don't have them. You know what I'm saying? But you should have a decent amount. Even if you're not buying packs or whatever like that, just by doing solos, you're going to have a decent amount of silvers because that's how I got all mines, all right? So pretty much like you've seen before in my previous videos, you just go and you pick the actual team of the silver token that you want, and then that's how you do it, man. There's nothing big, nothing to it but to do it out here, all right? So if you need to see exactly how you do it, you can just search, you know, how to get tokens inside my channel on GmiasWorld on YouTube, and it'll take you to the video and you can find it that way. And that way you'll understand it. But at this point, I'm assuming that most of my viewers already know how to do it. If you don't, that's not a problem. I have videos showing you exactly what you need to do right here, all right? So put it like this. If you haven't been doing any of the team leaders, there are specific ones that are really, really good for their team, all right? With the Seattle Seahawks, the best team leader like available is Frank Clark, all right? If you're picking anything else other than that, you're not getting like people have picked the Sheed, the cornerback. There's so many cornerbacks that are decent in this game that I wouldn't waste time with him, especially when there's other corners like Bradbury with the Panthers, which I've shown you in other videos and compared him to like Ramsey and a lot of other corners. If you were looking for a cornerback as far as a team leader goes, keep in mind that I'm doing these things specifically for MUT Master. You have to do 8 of those sequences that I just did right there. You know, getting team leaders, completing the sets in order to complete MUT Master. So once I get the 8, I don't really care about much more. I am going to probably do all 16 of the NFC teams for the team leaders to get that OBJ. His price is still hovering around 1 million coins. I'm not sure if I'm going to sell him though, because he would be a good tandem with him and Randy Moss. The GOAT edition. So right here, what you're seeing me do is I'm putting them into the team leader sets, and I'm getting the last 2 team leaders that I need to actually unlock the elite version of the solo to get the 86 overall version, because the final 3 is what you really need to get the 86 overall of which ones of the 5 team leaders that you want. All right, so what we're gonna do right now is I'm gonna actually go into the solo after I set my lineup really quick by just putting the team leaders in. And remember, for the first section of the 16 games, you got to have any 12 of the player for that team. When you're doing team leaders, you don't need to keep those same 12 players in your lineup. Just put the team leaders in. You need 5, and 5 of them give you a tier 3, and then from that point, you unlock the elite solo from which you're about to play. All right? So that's pretty much what it is right there. Once we put Frank Clark in right here, it's pretty much a wrap. And the dude is, listen, that 81 overall is already major glitch. Bro, it's a major glitch. This dude, you can see right there, we're tier 3 with Seahawks team leader. So we're going to go ahead and unlock that solo. But I need you guys to understand something. When I'm telling you that players work, look, they work. I'm not just telling you that like, yeah, bro, just listen. When you use the players that I use everybody on my team for a specific purpose. Frank Clark has specific type of attributes that are utilized very, very well in Madden 18. So I'm going to go ahead and explain it to you before I even compare him to his older card. Strength for D linemen, right, especially the ends, are very important, because what happens is in this year of Madden, the quarterbacks can really run around and move around. And also remember, you could go to depth chart immediately, press triangle or Y, and then automatically reset your depth chart to put all the higher players in. If you had the backups in to make your team whatever it was to unlock the solos, always remember that. And then with your coaching adjustments for offense, you're going to want to make them aggressive. When you're playing Ultimate Team, if you're playing regs, don't do that. If you're playing MUT squads, don't do that, because it'll always be holding calls and you'll be screwed. All right, so let me get back to what I was saying. As far as the way the D line goes, a lot of it has to do with strength. The D tackles have always, you know, made a difference as far as strength goes, but when you contain against running quarterbacks this year, because they fixed the way the transition of the quarterbacks and how they start to run from the behind the line of scrimmage, they kind of ruined it for 16 and 17 to where the quarterback would move around like very, very ridiculous and act like he had sand in his shoes or something like that. Take a look at the coaching adjustments that I'm using. I use these actual adjustments also, the aggressive and play ball in actual head-to-head games as well. But yeah, the quarterbacks being so much more mobile, when your D linemen have strength, that's something that helps them get off of the contact. You know what I'm saying? So if the tackle jumps out on them, they can still, if you have them in a contain, they can still hop off. For the lower strength linemen, they can't. So you're going to want to make sure that your linemen have they have to have suitable amount of strength to help you to get off that contain. Because if you're like me, you probably, when you first started playing, when the game first came out, you're like, why are dudes able to just run outside and just keep going and just do whatever they want? That was the problem. And the more I experimented with different linemen, I came to that conclusion. The strength matters. That's why Frank Clark at that 81 overall, he still stayed in my lineup, even though I was an 80, you know, I'm currently an 85 overall. You know what I'm saying? But I left him in there specifically for that reason. Because I'm trying to figure out, I'm like, all right, this guy had lower strength. He's always getting, even when I got him in a contain, he's getting sucked up by the tackle. Why is Frank Clark always coming off? Voila, it looks like 80 and above for the ends. It really matters. That's why Terrell Suggs, the gauntlet guy, he sucks. He's a horrible card because of his speed and stuff like that, but he's strong, and if you put him on the D line, he'll definitely set that edge. So keep that in mind, all right? I had to fast forward through the end of the game so that way we could get right to it, and I can show you what happens as soon as you get to, you know, the pack that you get to choose the 86 overall. Pretty much the same type of pack that it was with the 80 overalls, but now you get to choose the 86 overall version. And we get to actually look at exactly what I'm talking about. In this case that's coming up right now, as the game loads, I'm going to show you specifically, because in the past, EA has made it a habit of like giving everybody +1s and +1s for everybody and stuff like that. And it's not really something that it's beneficial when you look at an overall card. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, all right, that +1 really matters. But this guy has a suitable amount with his card. So like I told you from the beginning, it was all about Frank Clark. That's what we're looking to get. Looking at overall, the only thing that he was lacking, as far as even when he's compared to Terrell Suggs, was that tackling. His tackling is a bit low, but his block shed is +5. You know, his speed is +2. So they're not doing the same things that he did last year for the most part with a lot of these cards. All right? So as we move forward with it, this Frank Clark right here, I'm going to explain to you again. It's a situation where it's a very, very hot, like the way that he plays is so much better than just that base card right there. You know what I'm saying? Just the regular base Nat Elite that I had, he plays so much better. So not only can I use that Nat Elite and do something like create an Elite token or something like that, I now have an 86 overall of the same card with better attributes. All right? So before you start running around looking for something, especially if you have a budget squad, this is something that you might want to do. If you're not looking to do MUT Master, then you really have no reasoning behind having to do these sequences. But again, I have to do these team leader sets and these sequences of the 16 games prior to help complete that. And I'm almost there. And then remember, soon as you unlock Sean Taylor, that's 250K right there. And then you got another list that's 750K, which I will get to you as soon as I unlock Sean Taylor, obviously. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to generate our best lineup, and we're going to put Frank Clark in the lineup. And you should be right now putting him in your lineup as well. If you want to see some of the other team leaders that I've had, you can see it right there in the lineup. You'll see Bradbury there. Obviously, you'll see Barr. He's the best user linebacker in the game, speed and everything permitting. So it is what it is as far as that goes. But again, if you're on a budget and you're just looking for something, don't go around the auction house trying to get those shiny red cards with the high elites. Try to do your best to get the cards that you can get that are team leaders for now, because you can also trade those team leaders into sets and get other things like elite tokens, like I just said, and you know, a lot more things as far as that goes. Let me know if you need any more help as far as building your team. Share, subscribe. I'll see you guys and girls next time. One love.